Hi everyone, it's Darcy from my3boybearings.com, and I'm here with a video today to talk about fixing an image that's underexposed. So I am currently in Adobe Bridge CS5, and I have here the sample image that I'm gonna work with that was shot underexposed just for you guys. And I'm going to work in ACR again. If you were here yesterday, I started in ACR with the overexposed image. Today we're going to start in ACR with the underexposed image. So go ahead and select the image that you want to work with from your folder in Bridge. Go ahead and click, right click on the image and select Open in Camera Raw. You can also drag it right into Photoshop and it will open in Camera Raw as well. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to notice is that the warning symbol comes up because it shows here on our histogram that the pixels are clipped because it's so underexposed, which means we've lost information in the shadows. So we're going to start by working with the exposure button, and it's a slider, so we can just go ahead and slide it up until it starts to look right. And it looks like we might be not quite 2 stops. That looks about right to start with. We'll go ahead and fill in here. Fill in with this fill light here is going to be the midtones, and already you can see up here the histogram is starting to go across the entire spectrum of light from dark to light. The blacks look good here. Brightness I'm not going to mess with. This looks pretty good. And for a lot of images, this just might be enough. You can bump up the exposure and then play with the temperature. I actually really like the color temperature here. It's shot at 5400 Kelvin, but because she's wearing this red and the light was really warm, it actually looks really good on her skin, so I'm going to leave it like that. But if you wanted to play with the light temperature here, you could certainly as a slider make it cooler or warmer, but once you've found the exposure and the fill light that you want, you can go ahead and click Open Image. Likewise, you could just go ahead and save the image as a PSD at this point, or you could go ahead and open it. I'm going to go ahead and click Open Image. We're in Photoshop and we have our underexposed image, and we've brightened it in ACR, so now we're going to go ahead and take a peek. And because this image was underexposed, one of the things that we need to look for is here at 100% you can see in the shadows the noise and some of the sort of like dust kind of particles. They're sort of like fragments that happen because you are underexposed. Because this image was so underexposed, you can see quite a bit of noise here, mostly in the in the dark sort of areas. Now when you look at her face, you don't see that. There are a couple spots where where I would clean up some of the parts where there were like they look like little sparkles. So you can go ahead and grab the spot healing brush tool, which is the J, and make it itty bitty tiny. And see this little red dot here? We could just surround it and click on it, and it should help with some of the instances of noise and stuff here. We'll go to her face. There's some on her as well, and we can quickly remove those. We don't want to do any skin softening or any noise reduction on her face because this girl has the most glorious freckles ever. So we don't want to do any of that, but there is still quite a bit of noise, especially you could see here there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a snapshot, and then we're going to duplicate the layer by hitting Control or Command J. We're going to go up to the filter, and we're going to go up to noise, and we're going to reduce the noise. The reason why I want to do this in its own layer is because if it does anything with her freckles, like this, I want to make sure that I can go ahead and pull that back. So here's a good area of the noise that we can see, and you can see the percentage that we're working with. So if we had brought this down, it gets very noisy. And you can bring this up to the filters so it sort of looks right to you and the strength of the noise reduction. It will ask you for how much of the details you want to preserve. The more willing you are to lower that number, the softer the noise will get in there. If you're willing to sort of bring it down way low, almost all of the noise is reduced, but you lose sort of the contrast in there. As we bring it up, the noise sort of comes up. So I'm going to keep the details at about 75%. We're going to look at the strength here. We'll keep it right there in the middle and reduce the color noise here by about 70% or so. And we're going to go ahead and click OK. And Photoshop is going to think, and it's going to work. It's going to work its little noise reduction magic. And as we click this on and off, you can see what it's doing. Let me zoom in here on the neck and the shadows in her hair, since that's the biggest area. Let's go back out to 100%. You can click it off and on and see if you see any visible noise reduction. In this case, in this photo, I'm pretty comfortable with the noise that's in the shadows and on her hair, as long as it's not affecting her face and eyes, which look amazing. But you can play with it and see. There are also plugins and programs that will do some noise reduction for you. I'm going to remove this layer. One of those is called portraiture, and I can show you how portraiture works. Again, I'm going to work on a duplicate layer by hitting Control or Command J, going up to the filter, and selecting portraiture, which is a paid edition, so you can see what portraiture does. In this case, and on this girl, I wouldn't use portraiture to skin soften because it will remove some of her freckles. So here's the Portraiture 2 dialog box. I have it set here at plus 20, plus 2, plus 10, 20. I think those are probably the default. I don't know that I really did anything special with this. I just run it and hit OK. And what portraiture will do is soften a lot of the area of the skin tones. You can see if you go to 100% what it's done to her skin. It's taken away a lot of the freckles. So for her, I would never run anything like this. But it has softened the neck quite a bit. You can see how it's done that. There is a little bit of loss of details in there. But if the noise bothers you, a plugin like Portraiture will add this kind of softness. But again, for this specific one, I'm really comfortable with the noise in the shadows because I think her eyes and her skin with her freckles look amazing. So there you go. The before and after will be in the post. You can see how we started with a super dark image and then we ended up here, and even though we'll still have some noise in the dark part of the shadows, I think it's worth salvaging the picture by increasing the exposure. So, alright, if you have any questions, please leave them for me in comments, and thanks for stopping by.